84 minutes. They're leading by 48 points. And the Bombers virtually having to win this to give themselves a real crack at the top 5 place in the finals in 87. And they've won first use of the ball out of the centre, a free kick. Going their way, Duckworth preferring not to kick but to get the hand pass off. And the ball on Essendon's half-forward line. Healy beaten for it by Clark. Henwood now back towards the centre line. Thripp, very good player in the second quarter. Searing pass. Beautiful delivery to Mitchell, one of their stars.
Yes, Thripp really has been one of the new players to emerge, and Mitchell, wonderful player throughout the season. Looks for Kappa and will find him. No, nice spoil by Madden. Chance now for Winton. Green fumbled. Morwood's underneath all of that, and Bomber Thompson comes in between face on and front long, and I think he might have given away a free kick, and Tony Morwood, if he does get this free, will be within range, as an indication of the respect that Kevin Schuette's paid to Morwood. He opened up today with his captain Terry Danaher as his opponent on the half-back flank, and Morwood, who's a magnificent mark, is coming in now to shoot for goal, kicks it short and kicks it so well. And he kicks it to the star of the match in Mervyn Nagel. Mervyn Neagle, he used to be Nagel, he's now Neagle. And Merv will be delighted to be playing so well against this team that he served with great distinction. He was second in their best and fairest twice. And actually, whilst at Essendon, I mentioned earlier, was runner-up in the Brownlow medal. And I know Kevin Schuette's got a tremendous opinion of Neagle, but he'd be wishing he would have stayed home today because he's kicked another one. And Neagle's relished his return to the forward line. That's his third. Noted as a centre-man, wingman player. He's loving half-forward flank, Kevin.
And he's had 3 opponents already today, Doug, and what a way for the Swans to start off the third quarter. Only 2 minutes into the quarter, and they've already posted the first goal after one of the most, well, greatest quarters of football I think we've seen a side play for a long time, kicking 10 goals in that second quarter. And it's now a matter of whether Essendon can stop the rot and in fact start to peg back the Swans by maybe kicking a couple of goals to stop this avalanche.
Well, that was just what they didn't want, the Swans getting the first one of the quarter. Kevin Walsh, the barger, he's out in there as well. No place to go in there. And umpire Robinson to ball it up. The official attendance is not quite what was expected and hoped for, 24,199. There were hopes of something around the 30,000 mark. Lovely day in Sydney, but a respectable crowd, if not great. Elshaw to half-forward for the Bombers. Merritt, who's never stopped trying. Cordy, now Browning, who came off the bench to star in the first half. Awkward for Hamilton, and he made it even harder. Mitchell, beautifully. Holden, forward of the centre line. Kappa will be late on the scene, too late. Hawke, a fine mark. Not a great spoiling attempt by, was it Clark from behind?
Clark. But it's the running of the Swans. No player bends down and picks up the ball without a teammate going by.
Awkward looking kick, but good enough. And the Swans, after kicking 10 in the second quarter, have kicked 2 in 3.5 minutes at the start of the third. Paul Hawke gets his first, the Swans 17th.
There's Mitchell, who's been absolutely fabulous player with those quick hands. He bent down, it looked as if he was going to be tackled, but they haven't really been tackled very well today, the Swans, simply because they're so quick at getting rid of the ball because there is a teammate running past. And on that occasion it was Holden, and of course in the ball straight down to Hawke, playing in front.
I think Essendon are probably to play against the most bruising side in the competition, but they simply haven't been able to catch them. Well played, Simon Madden. Tui left-footed out wide. Hawker's underneath it. Awkward one for him. In front is Stephen Wright. Nagel's there assisting. Out it goes to Brett Scott. Scott will send a left-footer in the Kappa-Winton direction. Kappa gets front position. Nice spoil by Winton. In front, Terry Danaher. 2-1 against him. And in comes Hawke, and Danaher rides him into the ground. And over the top there goes another teammate in the person of Spencer, and I think there could have been a free kick that time.
Well, in the first quarter, Holden was penalised for a similar one against Alan Izard. I think in that particular case, the umpire was being completely, well, following his efforts in the first quarter. That should have been a Swans free kick.
Swans by 10 goals and deep in attack. Clark finding Keane in the opposite back pocket. Dangerous. Hawker just getting it off in time. Elshaw now at half-back. Hurd back to Elshaw. And the Bombers running it effectively. Now Chris Danaher the chance, but Cordy closing and beats him. Burns him off. Leaves him 10 metres behind. And a blossoming defender is Neil Cordy. Big leap Bays. Couldn't quite hold it after getting up so high. Johnston intercepting for the Bombers. Hurd helping it on. Now Thompson from the wing. Elshaw again, running and receiving. 60 metres from goal. Well done inside to Danaher. Back to Elshaw. Should kick a goal. Misses. Kicked in a hurry, slightly unbalanced. The Bombers' first score in this second half is a behind. They trail by 59 points.
Well, here's the new hero up here at the Sydney Swans, Rodney Carter. The oldest man on the side, gets it out nicely to Scott. Morwood and Hamilton do battle. Hamilton wins. Browning tackles him, and what an excellent tackle too. Thompson back to Merritt. Merritt on the half-forward flank, sent it in the Salmon direction. Rod Carter's there too. Izard's the leaper. Over it comes, and it's punched over the line out of bounds. And the support of the crowd is there for Tui, who's the man who took it over the line. It really has. Rod Carter has really caught the imagination with his ruling, spoiling, mean tactics. And the umpire's whistle is blown. He's indicated that he's going to play a free kick. It'll be taken by Mark Browning, having a wonderful match.
Cordy running into space again. Ooh, awkward for Carter. Two to contend with as well. Good hip and shoulder by little Izard was great. Well done by the little man. But a bad hand pass. Awkward for Walsh. Comedy of errors. Hurd. That was a mistake too. Healy in a hurry. Out to space on the wing. No one within 30 metres. 2 against 1 in the Bombers' favour as they close. Keane. Now Hurd on the centre line, but the Bombers not really running it all that effectively. They've gone directly across the ground with 3 possessions. Hawker with 3 coming at him. Back to Keane. They're forced backwards. Poor kick from Keane, only 30 metres, and well taken by the tough Tui, who rode the Merritt bump with no problems.
And the bolting Bolton goes downfield. It's a good-looking one to Bays. And Tui really has played very well the last few weeks. And Bays, who kicks the ball tremendous distances, makes the distance. Over the top of Capra it goes, but through for 1 behind.
Last week, Doug, we made the comment that Mark Bays really played well against the Eagles, and one of the best games we'd seen him play for 4 quarters, and he's continued on with that form today.
Forward! Giant mark. Out-centimetered by Madden, but he rode him beautifully and took it falling. A mark? Yes, it's paid. I think Capper might have had first hands. He certainly felt he did. Winton to Clark. Floating it to Johnston. From the back pocket, almost from the flank. Thompson, Danaher, Terry through the centre. Good pass to his brother Chris. The 4th in line of the Danahers. Long with the left boot. Salmon caught under the ball, out-hustled by Carter, who watches it contentedly go through for a behind. And after 8.5 minutes of the quarter, the Bombers still haven't added to their half-time goal tally. The Swans have kicked 2 more, and they lead by almost 10 goals.
Rod Carter gives it short, gives it very effectively. The Swans players everywhere there. That was dangerous threat, but he's lost it. Here's a chance for Cunningham. Bolton comes in strongly but doesn't take it. Healy saves the situation. Bolton to Henwood is good football, and the Swans get out of trouble through Henwood. He's on half-back flank, hooks it back over Hurd's head, looking for Healy. Healy outmanoeuvres him, gets an awkward bounce, gathers, in lots of trouble, beats 1, beats 2, then thumps it back downfield. Beautiful football. Bays goes up very high. Mitchell's underneath it. Mitchell looks for a hand pass. Out it comes to Brett Scott. Scott then sends a long one, and it's going to be downfield, a free kick. Capper takes the mark. And late on the scene was Johnston, and didn't help his team at all. And Warwick Capper, who's kicked 4 goals, has got the opportunity now from about 35 to 40 metres out. There it was. Ooh, that elbow was up too. There's Scott, who's got every reason to be very satisfied with his game today. He's only played 2 for the season. Capper now. Angle difficult. Nice kick. Nope, just floated away at the last moment. He's kicked 4-2.
Brett Scott's been a surprise packet today, Doug. playing in the centre. He's been in the thick of things right from the opening bounce, and he's got beautiful disposal.
Terry Danaher at fullback, long and down the middle. Byrne roving the pack. The hand pass just too far. Elshaw to Hurd at half back, but the Bombers are having to work so hard. Holden outreached by Merritt. Keane. Oh, Hawke with dash. Holden. Clever kick. And Bayes is only 40 metres out. And with the leverage he gets on that left boot, he could make this look easy.
Well, he'll get the distance.
That's a certainty, Kevin, yeah.
He's kicked one. Coming up for the Swans, 18. Effortless kick, but he's off direction. And they get another behind. When they kicked 2 in 3.5 minutes at the start of the quarter, I was diving for the record book, wondering if they could get 200 for the second week in a row, but it's a long way away.
Hand pass from Elshaw. Danaher downfield, awkward hand pass. Good tackle right against Hamilton. Puts Healy into possession. Bayes again will shoot for goal, and he drives it through. That was a perfect Bayes kick, and typical of the prodigious kicking power of this young player. That's his second. He's 27th for the season, but he really drove that one through.
Well, they've already kicked 3 goals in this quarter.
And they're so clearly on top, Kev. They're dominating the match totally at the moment.
Well, that second quarter, I mean, the Bombers would have been shell-shocked. Any side would have been shell-shocked. And they're just winning the ball so easily. But they're really making it look easy because they've got so many players at the fall of the ball, and no player gets his hands on the ball without 2 or 3 teammates going by. And their tackling has been absolutely superb. They're long kicking to position. They don't fiddle around with the ball. It's actually been a tremendous exhibition of football.
Well, a 48-point halftime margin has become 67 at the 12-minute mark, and the Bombers heading for a shattering loss. Byrne and Salmon break even at that bounce. Ball up once more in the centre. The Swans 18-11, 119.
And Madden's going off the field, and Spencer is going to replace him.
Well, things are desperate, but not that desperate. Punch by Henwood as a thumper. Duckworth goes out wide with Thrip. Thrip turns and twists and beats Merritt as well. Hand passes to Browning, who will give it a long thump. He drives a bullet out to Morwood. Oh, he's a beautiful kick. He's kicked 2 super goals, and here goes to Kappa. Kappa gets an awkward bounce, and off it goes. But Browning's kicking has been back to his majestic best today. 2 wonderful goals, and that pass was an absolute gem. In come the big fellows once again. Salmon, Holden tackled. Hurd looks at the umpire apologetically. No, it's going to be Hurd's free kick. And Keane and Healy have a discussion, an unfriendly one. Healy's not worried, has a chat to him. And out we come. Hand pass comes across to Hurd.
Running out of defence, but kicking short and not effectively. Thompson let him down. Hawke to the running Thrip in great position. Now Mitchell, 55 metres out. Not much there for the Swans, or is there? Healy, and it's another one. They are slaughtering the Bombers. Healy's second goal. The Swans 19. And checking the record books, they are headed for their biggest win ever over Essendon. Previously it was 77 points back in 1977. And their margin at the moment is just about that. It's 73.
And they've kicked 14 goals to 3 since quarter time. Gerard Healy has been, like most of his teammates, a very good player, but significantly it was Mitchell who kicked that ball down. And what a wonderful rover he's turned out to be. This year he has really blossomed. He's made the state squad on a couple of occasions now, yet to play interstate football, but I think that's in the future for Barry Mitchell.
So I guess, Kev, that Wright and Healy do battle with Platten and Loveridge, and here comes Stephen Wright. Centred, driving downfield, not a good one this time. Hand pass comes to Hawker. Hawker steadies on the half-back line, drives it out wide looking for bustling Billy. Over the top it goes, and Mark Browning is in business, and the ball is thumped away from him over the line, out of bounds by Keane. But it's the Bombers in attack, and they haven't been in attack too often with their half-forward flank on the grandstand side.
Halfway through the quarter, the Swans have kicked 4-3, the Bombers just 2 behinds. And the Swans' supremacy greater in this quarter than ever. Scott to Holden to Scott to half forward. Good fist by Johnston. Throw in on the Swans half forward flank. And the Sydney side is really throwing down the gauntlet to the big guns of the competition, topping the 200 last week against the Eagles, murdering Essendon today. They are a force and will take some beating in September. There's no doubt about that. Throw in now on the wing. Previously, their biggest ever score against Essendon, 27-13, 175 back in 1977. That day they had their biggest ever win over the Bombers, beating them by 77 points, and they might break both records today. Neagle into centre half forward. One out battle here. Healy, but Capper late on the scene with Winton. Duckworth, well tackled. Good hand pass though. Hamilton, good floater. Thompson. Now Clark, forward of the centre. Bad pass, poor delivery. Spencer, beaten by Carter. Well done by the fullback once more. Keane, pressured by Bolton. And just finds Clark at centre half forward, 50 metres out. Might be too far though for the defender. Come centre line player, come ruck rover. Spencer gives a lead but can't break away from Carter, and Clark's having a shot. Not quite the distance, or is it? Yes, it is. Just making it, falling over the fingertips. Essendon's first goal in this quarter, but the margin is a gaping 67 points.
Might have been a bit of good shepherding there because it wasn't that high, I feel. We'll watch it. I don't think we will.
It was touchable anyway, Doug.
It was touchable, Kevin, for sure. I thought Henwood was going to easily reach it, and I think Merritt was the man who was responsible for just nudging him out a bit, and thus caused the goal. Byrne and Salmon. Byrne over the back. Downfield it goes from Mitchell, getting a feast of kicks. Or could almost play that to Hamilton. Right underneath it. Crawls after it. Good tackle. Mitchell again. He's playing absolutely magnificently. And here comes Bays. And Bays misses one. That's not like him. He's done so well throughout the season and kicked with such spectacular skills. Kicked 25 goals before this match started, and he's kicked a couple to go, so that's 27 for the year.
And 1 goal, 3 for the quarter.
Had so much time then and didn't get balanced. Well taken by Salmon with height and reach. Hamilton now. Duckworth, Hamilton. Scrambled kick forward. Browning. I think it might have been a touch ball, which is why he played on. Elshaw running onto it. Fripp in pursuit. He's a developing player for the Swans, and what a great tackle. Wins the free kick. He has not made a mistake today.
Now, Elshaw's the fastest player at Essendon, but he didn't really go flat out to that ball. He allowed Tripp to get 3 or 4 metres on him.
Tui receiving from Morwood, but this time Capper left in Winton's wake, and well done by the Bomber fullback.
Winton to Clark. Not gaining much, Essendon. They've really got to be very direct. They've got the big fellas to do it. Here it goes, zigzagging across the ground once again. Keane and Johnston are there. It's Keane with it. Keane can give the hand pass, doesn't. He hooks it back and does the right thing. Underneath it, Chris Danaher. But again, they're taking a long, long way to get down to the goal line. In comes Walsh. Behind there's an opportunity for Tui. Hitting it down nicely. Well played. Very well played, Scott. On to Neil Cordy. Back to Holden. Holden then bites towards Healy. Healy in front. Neagle gets an awkward bounce, but Mitchell's there to get another kick. Mitchell, very clever, out to Tony Morwood, who steadies and will go back to shoot for goal. Well, Mitchell has had a feast in this quarter, KB.
Here's another one.
Oh, take it. How easy can it be? And Kevin Schutte will be furious. Nobody tailed him downfield, and Mitchell, with ridiculous ease, puts through his own second goal, and the Bombers are being slaughtered.
And the Swans in that last passage of play, it's terrific to see the blocking and the shepherding. Every time a Swans player goes for the ball and he's being chased, you see a teammate comes in and just blocks, puts his body in, he's talking all the time, enabling the boy with the ball to easily to use it and to dispense with it in any manner he likes. Now we saw Mitchell passing that ball. He just ran up another 50 metres, chipped in and got the pass back. And very poor defensive work and lack of concentration by the Essendon players.
So the Swans get their 20th. We're at the 20-minute mark of the third term.
We spoke of that league record last week. Tim, maybe this week it might be broken.
Well, it's worth carrying the record book up to Sydney each time we come, because they're kicking some big scores. Essendon with the Scouts. Cunningham, loose hand pass. Hamilton, smothered kick. Duckworth with strength. Good tackling though. Down goes Spencer. Neagle. Now a ball up towards Essendon's half-forward line, about 60 metres from goal. 20.5 minutes gone. The Swans 132, the Bombers 58.
Big punch. Intercepted by Neil Cordy. Pass ball, but it goes to Hamilton. Hamilton out to the half-forward flankers. Nice football. Keane's got the chance to hand pass to Hawker. Back to Keane. Keane 50 metres out, shoots for goal and kicks it. Won't make the distance. Rhett Carter just touches it. He really did well to just touch that one too. I thought it was going to fall short. It didn't, and he just got the outstretched fingers to it.
Building it down the middle with the torpedo, just curling away towards the half-back flank. A rare fumble from Mitchell. Hawker. Spencer not able to cling to that. Salmon, can he bend down that far? Hawker again. But in all sorts of trouble. Merritt now. Chris Danaher, but Swans everywhere. Spencer, now Elshaw, but nowhere to go. And the Swan defence finds the sanctuary of the line. Still making it hard for the Bombers to score goals. The match virtually parcelled up with a quarter and 10 minutes remaining, but they're not relenting at all.
That was the strong Henwood who put that over the line. Mitchell's there as usual. Wherever the ball has been this quarter, Barry Mitchell's been somewhere close to it and mostly with it.
And Peter Quirk is warming up for the Swans on the boundary line. He's about to get a run in this third quarter at the 22-minute mark.
Maybe they should give Mitch a little bit of a rest. He's been in everything. Untidy scene at the 22-minute mark there as players fall on top of it. Glenn Hawker, best and fairest last year, tosses the ball across to the umpire. Byrne is to be commended in his new club. He's played well since he joined them. Today had a big job, but he's stopped them taking any ruck supremacy, which you would have expected from Madden. Spencer fights for it. Here's a chance for Izzard, who had a good first quarter. Hawker picks up. Onto his left boot and kicks it back, and Walsh is there waiting for it. With him is Toohey. It's punched away nicely. Hawker, very clever player. Brilliant balk. Beats two of them, but caught the second time and held it to... No, he's got a free kick before it. The tackle was too high, and then he quickly plays on out to Thripp. Thripp then dodges nicely, steadies, breaks away, was almost accidentally tripped. Merritt went for him, and here comes Mark Browning. He's only about 70 metres out, which gives him a chance. Down in the Kappa direction, Kappa in front. Healy with the ball. Healy puts it through. It's too easy. That's his third. What a driving kick again, Kevin.
And Toohey's off, and Peter Quirk's on. And that's the secret of the Swans. They run with the ball, they get settled, they get well balanced, and then they kick the ball into that danger area. They then compete strongly, and the players get to the foot of the pack. And there's Kappa doing his job, competing strongly. And there was Healy waiting at the foot of the pack. And that's his third goal and his second for the quarter.
6 more to the Swans in this term, after kicking 10 in the second and 5 in the first. And here they go again. Hawke to Mitchell, to Bays, who will kick from 50 metres out and could do it. Oh, it's long, and it is as straight as a gun barrel. They are rampant. 3 to Bays, 7 for this quarter to the Swans, and they are getting pretty close to leading by 100 points. It's an embarrassment for the Bombers.
Well, it's an exhibition, Tim, at the moment on how to play football, and Bays has kicked his second goal for the quarter. That's the Swanettes.
Kev, it's a real embarrassment for Essendon, isn't it? You really wonder about them now as the power that they've been.
Well, particularly, Doug, with their big win over the West Coast Eagles and a very big win over Richmond, that one had the feeling that, you know, they were just starting to regain their balance again with players back. And, of course, today Tim Watson was in the reserves, Leon Baker, Paul Vanderhaar was also in the reserves, Stephen Clark. So those players on the fringe now getting their fitness. And, of course, with the 2 big wins one felt that if the Bombers won today, they were only out of the 5 on percentage. So there was a huge incentive for them to do particularly well.
Because the last few weeks they've been carried by Salmon and Madden. Here comes Henwood, who's been a wonderful player throughout the season. Bays and Terry Danaher do battle. Neither can make it. Elshaw's underneath it all. Hurd kicks it downfield. Walsh the leaper, and bad luck. Almost took a good one. They're still trying the Bombers, but they can't. Kicked out wide and chance for Keane. Great tackle, Holden. Hawk the dazzler. Quick hand pass. Off they go through Quirk. Quirk then drives to the boundary line, and it won't be reached by Cunningham before it goes over. And if Quirk meant to dribble that over, he couldn't have judged it more perfectly.
Well, the Swans have kicked 7-4 for the quarter. Their best ever third quarter against Essendon is 8-6. That's another record that might go. Their 10 goals in the second term was their best ever second quarter, and in fact their best ever quarter against the Bombers. So having trouble keeping up with the record books here. Izard, nowhere to go. Cordy. Now Holden, after a bad start, doing pretty well. Hawk from behind the centre line. Bad kick. Danaher having to kick in a hurry and not well. Bad bounce for Hawker. Holden. What an improved player he is this year. Right. Blindly, but with 3 Swans there. And a lovely knock on Hawk to Mitchell, to Healy and Kappa. Healy with some clever soccer. Cleverly done. Now Thripp, 50 metres out. Nice sidestep. In a hurry, long, and it's another one. He has been brilliant. That was a great goal under immense pressure. His own second. The Swans 8th for the quarter. The margin now 91 points.
Well, Terry Thripp would be one of the most improved players that I've seen in league football over the last couple of years. I mean, he really struggled to win any sort of permanent place in the Swans side until this year, but he has just developed at the rate of knots, playing on the wing or half-back flank or half-forward flank. He's a tremendous contester, and he's been able to kick goals also in recent weeks. But in that last passage of play there, I counted 7 Swans players to 2 Essendon players around the ball.
And Thripp, whose father played with Collingwood. I guess Lee Matthews would love to have him down there under father-son news. Beautiful smother there by Cordy. Perfect pick up there by Scott. Scott delivers to Tony Morwood, only man there, and Morwood takes it about 45 metres from Cole. Difficult angle, but Tony Morwood, long, lean and elusive, and one of the very excellent marks in league football. 5 brothers in this Morwood household. 3 of them have played league football. And what a fine kick it is. Across the face of goal. Punch down in front, and Spencer's very grateful to take it through for 1 behind.
It's interesting just watching in this quarter that every kick the Swans players have, they've got plenty of time to execute it, whereas the Bombers virtually under pressure all the time.
Winton, Walsh with the run at it. Fine mark. No doubt about that. The margin, unbelievably, is 92 points. 28.5 minutes into the third term. The Swans with 151 points beside their name. A mammoth score in less than 3 quarters. Right backwards to Bolton. A rare fumble. Just about the first mistake of the day. And holding the ball now. He really pays for it in spades. And the free kick goes to Keane or Izard. They were both there. Oh, and because they both let it go, the umpire dishes out 15 metres. I think that's a bit of a tough decision by umpire Robinson. Good spoil by Carter. And the crowd rising to their folk hero.
He's the new one, isn't he? He's the new hero.
They've got one at either end of the ground, and aren't they different?
Yeah, one went off the ground too. Murphy's another one the crowd really love here, and rightly so. But Carter deserves the plaudits to the crowd. He's been averaging only about 1 goal per match against him. And the veteran, who started in 1974, many thought would have retired years ago, just keeps on going on. The hardest man in the business to kick a goal against.
Trained one night at Richmond, Doug, after he was at Port Melbourne, but the Tigers at that stage didn't think that, same as you said then, that it was much league football in Rod Carter.
You could well anticipate feeling that way, because there's nothing spectacular about him, but it's all effective. A lot of Essendon players here, as Hamilton has been one of their best, should have taken a free kick, will take a free kick, because Bays' tackle was late, And Paul Hamilton's done his job today. Senior players really haven't done much. Brownie comes in, spoils Walsh. Hawker with it. In lots of trouble, turns. Brownie tackles him again. Walsh, he's well tackled, breaks it with strength, breaks another one. Good play, Walsh. Out to Clark, and Clark kicks a major. Ironical applause as Nobby Clark kicks his second. And Essendon go to double figures. They're 10-5 against the Sydney Swans, 23-13.
It's hard work, Doug. Look at the tackling and the ferocity of the Swans players as they chase and just harass the Essendon players. Clark kicked his second goal for the quarter. Essendon's
only 2 for the quarter. 2 goals, 3. Well, the Swans have rammed on another 8-5. And all the Bombers can hope for now is to not be as severely embarrassed at the end of the day as they are at the moment. But Tommy still not happy. He'd like to increase that lead a bit, Kev.
What's that VFL record? 36-22, 238.
Might be out of reach, but something I am wondering about is whether they can become the first team in history to kick the double century in consecutive matches. That's never happened before.
It's like winning 2 Melbourne Cups, isn't it?
Byrne long out of the centre. In front, Danaher. It's his ball, not Morwood's. And the Essendon skipper takes the kick and 15 metres because Morwood wouldn't surrender it, which brings him forward at centre half back. He might get another one, but he kicks in a hurry to Cunningham.
Cunningham quickly on to Hamilton. Hamilton down looking for Salmon. There goes the siren. Rod Carter gets it.
Less is only second best.
Final term getting underway at the SCG.